All right, our Hangouts is now live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another one of my Wednesday night live streams. Today, this Wednesday night live stream has begun at 8:15 p.m. rather than the usual 7:30 p.m. I did that to accommodate my amazing guest and my very first YouTube friend, Daniel Wagner of the YouTube channel Unframe of Mind, Uncomfortable Conversations Without a Condom. Hello, Daniel Wagner. Thank you for coming back on my channel.
Well, good morning. How goes it with you?
Yes, good morning in America, because right now Daniel is awake at 4:15 a.m. to be doing this, and I intend to return the favor because that's insane, and I really appreciate you being my guest this week.
Hey, you gotta show you how it's done. Sometimes we just gotta get up early for the things that we wanted to do in life. You know, it's just, I mean, I tell people at work all the time when I go into work, like, yeah, I was up this morning talking to my friend in Australia, and they're like, what time did you get up? 3:30 in the morning. What? No way. There's no way I do that. I said, that's why you're going to be working here the rest of your damn life.
That's exactly what I do when I've interviewed. Like, the most recent well-known person I've interviewed was Tim Alberino, and I had to wake up super early to do that interview. And then the one before that was a former transgendered woman, so born male, was a woman, back to male, and that was a super early in the morning interview too. So I get why you do it, and I do it too. I think it's good to be committed to what we're doing, because we're trying to change the conversation. We're trying to change the landscape of what's being said. It's super important.
Yeah, not only getting up early, you know, it's not having just having the commitment to do it. It's actually, you know, being willing to do what it takes to, you know, willing to put yourself in uncomfortable positions to, you know, like getting up super early or like going and talking to people that you wouldn't normally talk to. It's just you got to be that person that's willing to do those things. That's really all it is.
That's extremely true. You and I, in a normal sense, would never have aligned, I think. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that, like, certain types of people that wouldn't have usually come together in the past are finding friendships and alliances due to what leftist bourgeoisie establishment is doing. They're pushing many reasonable people on the outs, and the reasonable people on the outs, like you and I, despite the fact that we have glaring differences in certain ways, we come together on so much, and it forms really lovely friendships.
Oh, let's not. That's not. I'm just saying, you and I would have been friends regardless. I have to disagree with you there. I mean, just I get along with. I just get along with all sorts of people anyway. And maybe we would have met under different circumstances or talked under different, you know, pretexts. But you know, it's just interesting to find the things that we do agree on, and we're able to focus on those to help one another out. I think
you would have been my baby daddy.
That could have been. It could have been.
Sorry, that was so stupid. I don't know why I said that.
That wasn't awkward at all. It came with a smile afterwards. So I guess we're even.
D is diarrhea.
Yeah. Diarrhea.
Surfaces. Surfaces once again.
Yeah.
Well, for those who are not aware of you, because you haven't been on my channel in over 2 years, I'd say, what's your problem? Just give everyone a brief rundown on, because those who have been watching my channel for a long time probably know who you are, and those who are watching from your channel probably know who I am. But just give people a very brief introduction as to what you believe and what you're about, and then we'll start the live stream just on our side of matters today.
It's almost as if you and I have had more people join our channel since the last time we spoke. It's amazing how that happens in the YouTube world. No, as far as, you know, I guess the who am I of it, and what you're alluding to as far as the differences that you and I do have is, you know, one, you know, I'm an atheist, you're not. I'm more of a I guess I do lean more conservative, but I'm actually more of an anarchist than anything else.
I know you're an anarchist. That was one of our live streams we did together.
Yeah, we've had a good time talking about that, going back and forth, and I'm surprised to, you know, given all the political turmoil that you've seen and all the abuse of power that you've seen, that you've not slowly started to move my direction more so.
Oh, no. Okay, sorry. I actually kind of have. I would never call myself a fully fledged anarchist. But I would, if there's two types of anarchists. There's the really bad leftist type of anarchism, and then there's the type that you espouse, which is a lot closer to Stefan Molyneux's particular position.
You mean because like real anarchy?
Well, yeah, like small government, I'm for. So if there was a way that I could trust the people and not the government to manifest it, yeah, I certainly am leaning more towards the idea of anarchism, but I don't think I really fully go there. But yeah, so keep going. So tell by the way, everyone, his website, unframeofmind.com, is in the description box below, as is his YouTube channel, if you guys want to check him out. Someone in the comment section just asked, who is this guy? Is he a conservative? Do you just want to quickly answer that question?
No, I'm not a conservative. I lean conservative, but I'm not a conservative. I'm very careful about labels. And that's probably one of the big things is the labels that I do choose to affix to myself are ones that describe what I don't believe, not what I do believe. So you actually have to talk to me to get to know me a little bit. And we actually have to have a conversation for you to actually understand where I'm coming from. Good luck trying to put a label on me. So that's pretty much it. I do tend to lean more right, more libertarian, I think what you're talking about is more of a minarchist libertarian angle than anything. I think that's where you would probably fall as far as based on what our conversations in the past. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, our conversations have been very personal lately, and you've been a very good friend to me. So thank you very much. Small YouTube community. Let's get into the discussion today. Censorship and the West becoming an authoritarian regime. By the West, I more so mean New Zealand, Australia, Canada, the UK, because America seems to be untouched thanks to this amazing thing called the First Amendment, and you guys have a Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about the effect that the Christchurch terrorist attack has had on New Zealand, on the United States. I have seen the Prime Minister of New Zealand feature on 2 of your talk shows. What has been the overall conversation or atmosphere regarding this? Just to start off with,
I mean, as far as where I'm sitting, the same thing's been happening. It's the same exact narrative over and over again. Oh, gun control, gun control, gun control. And everybody who even pays even a little attention to history knows that gun control means no guns for the law-abiding citizens. And and there's no such thing as gun control. There's more like guns in, it's more like, who do you want to have the guns? Do you want to have the government having all the guns, or do you want to have kind of more a chance where everybody can have access to firearms defense and that kind of thing? And I think what you're seeing is the same played out narrative over and over, people jumping on the opportunity to espouse their political viewpoints, telling people that we need anti-gun, we need pro, and it's just ridiculous. And fortunately, we do have the Second Amendment that, kind of it acts as a bulwark against that right being taken away from us. You guys aren't so lucky. You guys don't have that over there. And I fear for what path your country's going down right now. I've noticed a number of things coming up in the news, and you've talked to me about a few things, and it's like,
it's scary.
Yeah, it's like whenever they want to take away rights, or I guess what we would consider rights, they can. And what are y'all going to do about it? You guys don't have the ability to arm yourselves and take on your government. You guys don't have even the option. It's just like, oh, well, I guess this is happening now. We're getting our rights taken away more and more. You can complain about it, but I mean, what's going to happen? Exactly. I mean, how do you actually make the changes in the correct direction, if you will?
Exactly. Well, that brings up that's exactly right. Now there is law here. I don't know anything about like the specifics. I do know though that it is possible to acquire arms. You can have them, but at the moment you can only have them for very, very specific things, either hunting or like a family heirloom, that kind of stuff. But at the moment, everything is being taken away. That's the threat. I should have been a lot more well researched today before taking on this live stream. But the point is that at the moment, since that shooting happened, the conversation has made a resurgence, and the discussion is now being had regarding the gun lobby here. Now, everyone knows that Australia years and years ago had a confiscation. We don't call it gun control. It was a confiscation. It was a buyback. They bought all the guns back. Yeah, you're probably aware of that. It happened in '96, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
And the truth is, even when I was a kid, I remember being around. I remember the conversation being had at the time when that was all taking place. I was quite young, and the point is that a white person, and people will disagree with me, and this will make me sound like I'm far right or alt-right, and I don't care anymore. I did make a video already telling people that we shouldn't politicize the issue. It's been long enough now. I'm going to politicize the issue. A white person, a male Australian who gets radicalized in other countries, Pakistan and Israel, that does not get mentioned. All that gets mentioned is the fact that he happened to be Australian and he was white, and somehow he was radicalized by people he was interested in here in this country. Blair Cottrell is an example that they're throwing out there, which is moronic. That makes no sense. But he was radicalized when he was overseas. That's how I believe the narrative should be going. And then he shoots a bunch of people that happen to be innocent worshippers, and now all of a sudden Australia and New Zealand want to take back every single gun. Does that make any sense? I suppose it does in the context of, well, that way no one can hurt you. Okay, but then what about stabbings? What about cars? Are you going to ban cars? Are you going to ban forks? Are you going to ban, I don't know, like, what are your thoughts on that? Well, the American mentality, there's a lot there. But no, what are your thoughts on this specifically? The American conservative logic is that you need to be armed to be able to defend yourself. But the Australian mentality at large, because even Australian conservatives on the right, many don't understand why you need to be armed. It makes no sense. If you don't have guns, no one can hurt you. So how explain it as an American who leans conservative regarding this particular issue on the guns.
To be fair, when you mentioned, what are they going to do? Ban forks? That it kind of from the perspective of somebody who's anti-gun, that makes you look ridiculous because it's like, well, to be fair, you're not going to take a fork and go murder 43 people in a church. It's just not going to happen. Like,
just like stab them in the throat with a fork.
Like, you got to be some kind of Liam Neeson, 007 type motherfucker going in there like a ninja.
I don't know what your name is.
Like, I'm thinking John Wick 2.0. That's the only way that's going to happen. But I get your point. I would just be careful not to make points like that, because that kind of totally just discredits you a little bit. So totally discredits you.
Okay, well, you knew what I meant. You're my friend. If the viewers don't understand what I mean, well, I can't help that. But you knew what I meant,
right,
so you
right.
clarified.
I know what you meant. I'm just saying from devil's advocate perspective here is, be careful about that one. That one looks ridiculous.
No, I understand. But that's very nice of you.
That being said, from a Second Amendment perspective, it's
wish
like,
we had a Second Amendment anyway.
Well, I mean, or something, any amendment.
Any amendment.
Anyway, just
Bill of Rights.
Yeah. Shoot, I'm having
Continue
a heart right now. Lost it. Anyway, I was trying to bring it up real quick, and my fingers aren't working. At any rate, basically, the idea here is that like I said, there's no such thing as gun control. I mean, people have this idea that gun control.
No, it's not.
Gun control means we'll take guns out of society and everybody will be safe. Well, the problem is those people also think that most people are basically assholes and can't be trusted with a gun. That same logic has to play out in the realm of government too. Your government, those are people too. Your government is not a thing in and of itself. It is a group of people that are being allowed to have guns. Are they
a collective?
Like, are they also idiots, just like the common population? Is it possible that most of them are a bunch of assholes? Yeah, I guess it would be. I mean, just based on the numbers. So what you're really saying is we just want to take guns away from everybody and give all the guns to a select small few group of idiots, versus allowing all of the idiots to have the equal ability to defend themselves. If that's the case, there's no such thing as gun control.
But this is where my friends and other, I was about to say other basics, that's really mean, but others who are not as politically aware would state something to the effect of, yeah, but they're cops. Yeah, but they're Marines. Yeah, but, you know, they're highly trained individuals, so it's okay. So we're putting our trust and faith on a collective, but we don't know what they're going to do on an individual level either. So that's where their logic is completely flawed. What do you think?
You know what? You can the whole gun grab thing from governments always has me questioning. I know how it's spun to the public, and to be quite frank, most people are idiots. I mean, we can all agree on that. Most people don't give a shit about the politics behind it all, and it's easy to sell some kind of a narrative like that. It's easy to tell the people, hey, you guys are less safe with all these guns out there. Aren't you scared that this is going to happen to you? Even though, you know, statistically, these things happen with, you know, very, very infrequently. It just seems like it's happening a ton more than, you know, normal, and it probably is even happening a ton more than normal. But still, statistically, it's still such a small amount of times it happens that it's easy for the media to put a magnifying glass on it and say, hey, let's look over here at this thing here and look how terrible this is, which it is terrible. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to, you know, say it's not a terrible thing, but it's so easy for them to go, looky here, this is terrible. You guys should be scared. What are we going to do about it? And then people are like, well, we got to get rid of guns. Clearly that's the answer. And the government's like, yeah, do that. Yeah, do that. And then they're over here in the meantime, you know, shoulder to shoulder with the media going, hey guys, listen, this is really working out for us really well. Keep pushing that narrative. Keep doing that. It's like, no, you people, you're not understanding this. We've had it so well over here for so long that you kind of forget what it even means to have to defend yourself against your own government, to be able to even have the ability to defend yourselves against, or to take over a government if you absolutely have to, you know. Governments do get out of control. I mean, we can just look back in history and there's plenty of examples of people in charge of power getting out of control.
Yeah, I think that's why I think people, generally speaking, are funny about guns, because I used to be quite leftist on that view. I used to think, definitely, I'm not for guns. I agree. We don't need violence. We don't want it. Why arm the people when you can't trust the people? Well, why arm the cops? You can't trust the cops. They're people. So it's really quite a flawed argument. A gun is an equalizer. I'm a female, and men are stronger than me. I'm not a feminist. I can acknowledge that men are biologically stronger than me. And some men, like some women out there, are bad. You know, they want to do the wrong thing. And if I had a gun on me, if someone was trying to hurt me, violate me or whatever it was, and I shot them in the leg or whatever, I'd be able to get away a lot easier than if I was going off my own strength as a female. Like, do you know what I mean? So I've very much changed my opinion on the whole gun issue. I think you were part of that. I think you were part of that evolution for me, because I wasn't for guns. I think we did a live stream about that several years ago on my channel or on your channel. And since then, I've become someone who is for guns. I think it's not for guns. I'm not for it, like, you know, but someone who should be well trained and armed. You and Stephen Crowder actually helped change me.
You're not so, oh God, it's a gun, I'm scared of it.
No, yeah, like I see a gun in a drawer and I go, oh, it's like a scene. It's like a scene in a soap opera.
we have firearms here at the house. My kids fire guns. I've taught them how to handle them safely, and you know how all the appropriate things you're supposed to do with them. We go out back, and my daughter is actually really good with a pistol. She can knock them cans down all day long.
One day I'm going to the United States to hang out with you and your family, because I've known you now for 3-4 years, and you're going to teach me how to use a damn gun.
All right, well, we'll make it happen as soon as you get out here.
Trump's America. Yeah. This is MAGA country.
Yo, we're gonna put you a little MAGA hat, and you're gonna be like, America.
I'd love it. Okay,
it's not required every time you pull the trigger to say America. You don't have to do that.
America. Okay, we've gone off topic. We talked about guns for too long, but that segues into Jussie Smollett a little bit, because Jussie Smollett did say that 2 white men came to him and said, "This is MAGA country," at 2 a.m. in Chicago when he was leaving work one day, and he had a noose around him and he was all bruised, and he was just let free. Just recently he was let free, and this ties into our subject today of censorship and fairness in the justice system. So what are your thoughts on this? This is ridiculous. It's in the court of public opinion and in the court of logical people, he's obviously guilty, but they let him free. Now, I don't know any more details aside from that. I don't know like what exactly they said, like what kind of free he is, like whether they said, okay, like whether they acknowledge that it was fake, but they're letting him off. I'm not really sure the specifics, but the fact is he's free. It's ridiculous. What are your thoughts?
I saw the headline come across my consciousness, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there. It was during work yesterday, and I'm sitting there. I seen it, and I was not surprised. I was not surprised at all. I mean, considering
why America has a much fairer justice system.
Well, I thought I would be surprised. You would think you would be
surprised.
Weren't.
Yeah.
There's a couple things at play here, and I think actually we're
victim status, minority points is one of them.
We're going to be talking about this tonight on our own show, on my Wednesday night show. That's in America many hours from now.
I know. I copied you, except my Wednesday night is first.
Yeah.
Because you're in the US.
You're in the future.
I'm in the future.
I wish I could have been surprised, but I wasn't surprised because there's a number of things at play here. You know, like you were saying, the victimhood status, the fact that he's black, you know, the fact that he tends to lean left. He's a liberal. He's one of the Hollywood elites. He's
not an elite. He ain't an elite.
He's in like Flynn, baby. He's protected. He's a protected class.
Okay. That's true. That's true.
So many different levels, and that didn't surprise me at all for that to happen. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm kind of scared a little bit because this hoax was created to produce a result, and the result was very effective until, well, he just flubbed it up and people figured it out.
Start a race war.
Yeah. Here's the problem. If other copycatters see him getting away with it, if other people who are wanting to do
I didn't think of that. That's true.
They see him, all he got was a slap on the wrist. He didn't, community service, psh, I'll do that. That's worth, a little community service is worth it for the cause of.
Is that what it is? He's getting community service?
White supremacists. We have to bring down these white supremacists. I'll do a little community service for that.
Yeah.
It's much easier for them to go, fine, I'll do it. I'm in. Whether I get caught or not, whether I flub it up, whether I do it poorly, whether I do a shitty job of making sure that I cover all my tracks and making sure I don't, hire a couple of foreign nationals to pretend to be white guys, leaving the evidence in their apartment. Like everything is there. All the pieces were there. And they're still like, yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. We'll give you community service. And from what I was reading, the police chief of Chicago he's hot. He's pissed. He's like, basically, all these police resources were put into this event here, like trying to do all this investigation, trying to figure out what exactly happened, around on a wild goose chase, finding out, the guy that is actually complaining was the guy that actually do. Oh shit! Here we go. We've just wasted a shit ton of public money in a city that's already hemorrhaging for money as it is. I would be pissed too. I'm trying to. I'm the police chief trying to put a good name on my city, trying like crazy to.
He happens to be black.
Get things under control, and then this, and then he's basically said, "Slap on the wrist, you're free to go."
Yeah, that's moronic, and it does bring to mind the fact that over 20 years ago, O.J. Simpson was also let free from a crime that most people believe he did commit. But he was let free. And again, you can't help but think, is it money and power, or is it the minority status that they're getting?
A little bit of everything, man.
Yeah.
Even back during OJ, I think honestly, it might have been a little bit more fair than it is even now.
Oh, completely agree.
So politicized, and that's why that whole court case went on for so long. And quite frankly, I think the prosecution really fucked that one up, and they're the ones that kind of failed and allowed an in for the defense. and ended up causing him to get let off. That's just my 10-second version of the OJ trial, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the aftermath of this, as far as what happens with other people trying to create hate crimes. I'm scared about that. I
gotta say, I know that some people say I don't look that different and that I look like any other white person, and some people say, oh, you look so Middle Eastern, you look so like people. I don't know what the hell I am, and I don't know how people perceive me, but I would never use my minority status in the way he attempted to. Like, I find that so wrong. Like, I just don't get it. Like, well, I need to. Am I that much of a moron that I can't make it on my own and use my own intellect, and I need to use the power of my skin color or the bigness of my eyes or the darkness of my hair? Like, come on, dude. Like, you're actually doing a disservice to your own people. What a moron you are. What an idiot. It's so insulting.
You actually have some principles.
Yes, I suppose. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
had some principles. He wouldn't have done the damn crime in the first place. If he was an honest and had integrity, like, this guy would not have done it in the first place. But it's not surprising that he ended up getting off. And he's still saying, he's basically still holding this. I think, from what I understand, if I'm reading this correctly, still acting like this actually did happen to him. Yeah,
he is. He's holding on to that lie. Like, oh, there was no way that I could, my principles, blah, blah, blah. Like, F off, dude.
Yeah, what is it? Smollett's lawyers say the actor is the victim in the case and that he's looking forward to focusing on his career. Like, what? Are you serious?
What career? He's been written out of the last couple of episodes, and no one's ever going to look at him the same again.
Like you're so caught up in the minority mindset, this victim mentality, that even while, like, basically you have your hand in the cookie jar, you've got chocolate all over your face, and you're like, I'm still the victim.
It's so bad. Yeah. Well, okay, let's go back to a group of people that are now trying to claim minority status. I shouldn't have said it. That's a horrible segue. Okay, so
hey, if you want to see some terrible segues, come to our show. That was nothing. That was nothing.
I really want to be on your show, but I'm always working.
We're more like, fuck it, let's bring up another offensive crayon.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, so since this event happened, some people are saying it's a false flag, some people aren't. I'm not going to get into those specifics because I can't tell either way. But I will say that since it has happened, the reaction, that whether it's a false flag or not, the reaction, that's the issue. The issue is how people are capitalizing on it. The Prime Minister of New Zealand, she's wearing a headscarf. My friend, the Imam of Peace, put up a tweet today talking about how there were like 7 women sitting next to each other wearing a headscarf in solidarity with their Muslim brothers and sisters due to what occurred in the event. And in the photo, they're doing this, which is a sign that ISIS does, which means only one God, or something like that. So, which is like all well and good. The sentiment I can appreciate. Like, it's quite lovely that they see it, that they see themselves in other humans, and they see the suffering of other humans and all that. But what I don't like is how something
do you think they know?
No, I don't. They either don't know, or they're just they're either ignorant morons, or they're doing it intentionally because they can now change the country to make it what the establishment wants, I suppose. And that's what I'm afraid of, because since this has occurred, now Australia and New Zealand, because Australia, like Canadians and Americans, are completely tied in some way, shape, or form. That's the same way with Australia and New Zealand. They're quite tied to each other. So whatever happens in New Zealand affects Australia, not really in the grand scheme of things. But in terms of these big deals, like these big events, it certainly is a conversation. And what trickles from Australia trickles into New Zealand and vice versa.
Yeah. A lot of you influence each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Yeah, we influence each other. So my issue and what scares me is the censorship of the internet at the moment. They've gotten rid of anything to do. You can't watch the video anywhere, and if you try to watch it, if you comment about it, you can get arrested. I don't know if I can do a screen share. I might try. I've never done a screen share on my channel before, but I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah, super easy.
So that people
hit that button.
What do I? Oh, here, screen share.
Yeah. Let's see what you got.
Okay, and then I've never done this before. Do I click share? I do. Oh, what's it doing? Okay.
You got to bring up the tab. There you go.
Hang on. Screen share. This one.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Can you see that? Is that working?
Yeah. Big ad. Yeah, I see it. I see a big ad.
All right. Australian man is arrested. About the. Oh, oops. Sorry. I hate that. Let me just go to that. Australian man is arrested after posting comments about the New Zealand terror attack, which led police to seize weapons at his home. A man has been arrested after he commented online about New Zealand mass shooting. That is ridiculous. Why can't someone comment on it? Why? And so then, in addition to that occurring, if I go further down here, so they swarmed his house in the northern suburbs on Friday. They found a replica firearm, 2 flick knives, an expandable baton, and a crossbow. The 37-year-old man has been charged with possessing a Class H replica firearm. They wouldn't have known that if he didn't comment on the New Zealand attack in the first place. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna. How do I get out of it now? Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my issue with that is that simply through commenting, he had his house raided and they've taken extra things from him. What the hell? Well, are you serious?
Here's what I'm missing in this article.
Okay, go.
I'm missing the actual, like, what was his comment? Because I know
yeah, exactly.
I know that his comment couldn't have been anything really that bad because they would have put that up front and center. Like, this man
exactly
saying, like the comment, like they would have said something like, this man was seen in a comment saying X, and that X would have been something terrible, like, you know, I want to do that too, or I want to, you know, be the next Christchurch killer. You know, they would have had that right up front and center. But the fact that there's no quote at all tells me that this guy, that like, they were looking for a way in, and they don't really have anything that strong against him. But then they're like, oh well, when we were there, we found all this other stuff too, so he's obviously
exactly
a bad guy.
Yes, you've read my mind, bro. That's fantastic. Yeah, exactly. That's what shits me, and that's what I fear now. Because just before we went live, I think I just informed you that BitChute. For those who don't know what BitChute is, it is similar to YouTube in that it is a video streaming website or platform type of website. We can't access it, and a friend of mine, he's told me to keep his name private. But he contacted me through Twitter Messenger, and this is what he sent me. I'm just going to, hang on, look it up. Yeah, okay, so he goes.
That BitChute platform, while you're looking for that, is fantastic, and I like it because it is supposed to be censorship free, and the fact that I can upload my video to YouTube, and they've got it set up where anything I upload to YouTube is automatically also uploaded to BitChute. So it's kind of
exactly
it's set and forget. So that way, and I did that because if for whatever reason we do get banned off of YouTube, which is you know, given the content that we talk about is very likely in the current political climate.
Yes.
I've got a backup. I've got multiple backups.
I'm using a VPN today. This is the first time I've used my VPN. I'm in America right now, so my BitChute account is up. Just I don't know if anyone can see. Oh, hang on.
Oh can see this. Now we know what time it is.
Yeah. Can anyone see that? And
yeah.
These are the websites that have been blocked from my. My friend said he got an email from Optus. Optus is a
Live Leak, Zero Hedge. Yeah, look at
DTube. Yeah. So these are blocked at the moment. Australians cannot access these websites. That is just a few out of 45. So thank you to my friend who sent me that. Torrents2.eu, HollywoodAnews.com, KiwiFarms.net, like all these different. It's moronic. Like, I can't believe
for VPNs and the upcoming blockchain-based internet. That's going to be fantastic for anti-censorship. Good luck censoring websites on a blockchain.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And let's move on to the other two articles that we were talking about earlier. Okay, so for those who are not aware, there is a YouTuber named Brittany Pettibone. She's good friends with Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern and her have done several videos together. So Brittany Pettibone has a boyfriend. He's Austrian. He's considered to be far right. I've yet to research him on my own. He's probably just called far right the way people call me far right. I don't think I am far right, but whatever.
I love your accent when you say it. It sounds like you're saying fire-ite.
Like, far right. Would you prefer
like you're some kind of a magician? I'm a fire-ite.
I'm a fire-right.
Like,
maybe I should talk like this because it would be more comfortable for you.
Oh no, fantastic! I like it when you talk that way. Go ahead.
Okay, so Martin Sellner, the Austrian officials. No, I can't.
Put on the you know what? Do a
Valley Girl.
Do a stereotypical Southern accent, American. Let's see if you got that in you.
Like Dr. Phil.
Oh,
Austrian officials raided the home. That was bad, wasn't it? I can't do Texas. No.
It's all good.
I'm just gonna quickly read.
What else you got, little lady?
Austrian officials raided the home of a far-right activist on Monday after links to the New Zealand mosque gunmen were uncovered. Martin Sellner, the head of the white nationalist identitarian movement in Austria, blogged about the raid on Monday evening, adding that it was because of Christchurch. So it seems like it's very similar to the Australian man who had his house raided by cops and had his replica firearms taken away. So this is Martin Sellner, who is Brittany Pettibone's boyfriend, and the same thing's happening in Europe. Someone commenting on something makes them guilty or somehow associated with the act itself, and then they get their house raided. That makes no sense to me, and it actually makes me really mad. It doesn't make sense to me how stupid the world is. It's so authoritarian. It's like we're becoming V for Vendetta. It really shits me. And the people that we're doing it for are people who ordinarily, certain people in that collective commit acts of terror all the time. And it's just a fact. You can't over 187 terrorist attacks occur, and they happen to be of the religion of peace. I'm not going to say the words because I don't know, I just won't. But you guys all know what I mean. Like, what the hell? Why are you raiding? It's like a thought crime. It's like if I say, I wonder if Hitler really did what he did. It's like someone saying that in Germany and then going to prison for questioning it. Only now we're doing it for. It's just stupid. It makes no sense. What are your thoughts? Elaborate.
Things, referring to the article, there's a line in here that says Martin Sellner, the head of the white nationalist identitarian movement in Austria.
Yeah, identitarian.
First of all, is it Austria?
He's from Austria. Yeah, he's an Austrian man.
Here's the problem: is I see these labels all the time come out.
Identitarian. Yeah.
Yeah, white nationalist identitarian, and it's like I'm starting to get to where I ignore it anymore, and I don't know. And here's the problem: you start, you accuse people of being racist so much, or you accuse people of being a white nationalist so much all the time, and then when you do the research, you're like, oh, that's not true. They're just trying to smear them. I'm concerned because I feel like I'm going to end up getting so comfortable with just ignoring that because it's been put out there so many times that I'm not going to be able to identify actual white nationalists. And, I may end up becoming friends with somebody who is a white nationalist because But
even if you did become friends with a white nationalist, is that really so bad?
Well, I
think you're an American.
As long as
you're an American, so that to your ear would sound bad, white nationalist or white preservation or race preservation. These words to someone like you who is an American, maybe not you specifically because you're more politically aware, but usually to an American, those words would hurt. They'd be like, oh,
automatically.
You know what I mean?
It's like like you opening
it's like me seeing a gun.
It's like that. Oh God, there's a bad word in here. It's a white. It says white. Anything.
It's said white.
But I guess to be more precise in
It
my
shouldn't.
language.
Yeah, like I have people in my family who one could deem as racist. I'm not. What am I supposed to do? Am I going to stab them to death for being a little bit racist?
Well, you should probably report them to the authorities at least.
Exactly.
To be a little more precise in my language, though, it's
be more precise.
What I mean is, I could be friends with a straight up racist and not even know it, because I've gotten so numb to this label that it's like when you sit there and accuse everybody of being a child molester, on the left. It's like,
oh, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi.
Well, I'm just saying, the right has a tendency of accusing everybody on the left of being child molesters, all the time, or being, what's the word? I'm brain farting.
Do we do that?
Early in the morning, not you specifically. I hear it a lot from the right as well. It's like they're a bunch of pedophiles, all out there molesting kids, and everybody in the higher ranks, like everybody in the higher ranks on the left, they're a bunch of pedophiles, and you hear guys saying it all the time, and you see it on social media all the time, and it's like after a while,
probably true that the right does do that.
You get numb to it, and it's like, well, wait a minute, maybe this person really isn't that. Maybe he's just associate. Maybe we've said it so many damn times that I have no idea who really is the racist. And I think that's the goal here, is to try to just totally overwhelm everybody with all these terms, all these different labels and stuff, and just totally make them blur the lines so much that you can't even tell what's what anymore. Like, there is no black and white, there is no truth. It's like, God, man, it becomes really difficult for the average person who's trying to keep up with this to even pay attention. So they just throw their hands up and go, you know what? Screw it. You're all racist. I'm not talking to you. I'm mad at you. Now we have a classic divide and conquer narrative going on again.
Exactly right. And it's just so concerning to me that Australia is heading down this path of not being able to speak, like this very live stream. I don't know. Will the cops raid my house tomorrow morning? I don't know. Like, does just commenting on something really have to equate to
if you're
to some form of danger?
If you're high enough profile, they more than likely would come after you.
I'm not high enough profile, but that Australian man that commented. Not Austrian, not Martin Sellner, but the Australian man who had his house raided for writing whatever it is he wrote, and you said what was the comment? They didn't even show it. He wasn't
that's true.
He wasn't high profile. I'm not high profile. I'm certainly more high profile than him because I put myself out there, but I'm not anything. Like, who is going to be targeted? Like, I don't know.
Actually, yeah. Hold on now that you mention it, I'm sitting there like, who is this guy? And I go back and look, and it's like, oh, they don't even say his name in the article. They don't even have a picture. Far as I can tell, this could be a completely made up article about some shit that didn't even actually happen. Like, there's no.
It's completely possible. But then, what am I afraid of then? If it's fake, that guy, I'm assuming it leans right.
Yeah, there's no link to sources. They could have. South Australian police said. That's all you got. I mean, who's going to take the time to go and research that? That's interesting.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Like, I would like to see the guy's name. Like, maybe it's somebody that we know, but if it was higher enough profile,
exactly. Well, I'm someone who I'm acquainted with, Neil Erickson. He did a brief video about it. It's up on his YouTube channel. So if someone wants to catch that, they can probably just go to the Senator Slayer to have a look. Finally, we're just going to go to the last article that we were briefly touching on. I'm going to do it with the share for this one because I think it's really important that people see it. So let's go here, and then I go share, and then I go here. Okay, so Australian government exploits fascist atrocity in New Zealand to push online censorship. Okay, so I'm just going to go down a little bit. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Scott Morrison summoned the Australian representatives of major social media companies, including Facebook, Google, and Twitter, to a meeting in Brisbane where he outlined a series of draconian measures aimed at forcing them to rapidly remove content. That's ridiculous. So the Morrison flagged legislation that would compel the platform to delete whatever the government deems to be abhorrent, violent material, whatever they deem. That means that anything, and I could care less about who like specific identitarian movements. That includes white nationalism, nationalism at large in Australia. But I still think they have a right to want to talk about what they want to talk about. I'm someone who doesn't mind the idea of miscegenation and stuff like that. That stuff doesn't bother me. But at the same time, I'm not going to get into a race discussion right now, but I do think, stop sharing there. I do believe that these pages on Facebook that have been pulled down, the Lads Society, which I have nothing to do with and I want nothing to do with them, but they should be allowed to exist. Why has the Lads Society page been taken down? Why has Avi Yemeni, despite whatever beef people like to align us with, which doesn't help that I did 2 videos about him, that was sort of my fault, but why has Avi Yemeni been banned? Because what he did to Jim Jeffries was fantastic.
Oh my God, that was epic. That was so epic. I was like, I'm sitting, like, honestly, and I've been meaning to ask you about this. I'm sitting there looking at that. I'm like, I got to reach out to him and get him on the show. And then I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I should ask Dia if she's cool with that. But
I'm not. Look, I give credit where credit is due. I feel like he wronged me, and he'll never acknowledge that. But that's okay. He's doing very good work, and what he did with Jim Jeffries was fantastic. I actually even donated to him to his PayPal recently, just to show him that I salute you. You've done really well. I don't expect him to do the same for me. I don't expect him to apologize or anything like that. But what he's done is fantastic, and I support him and what he's doing for the movement because it was fantastic. Jim Jeffries, you're a dog.
yeah, I heard that. As soon as he was playing them clips back to back about what Jim Jeffries said versus what Jim Jeffries editors made his thing look like he said versus what he actually said, I was like, oh shit. Like, I knew that shit was happening, but when you actually see it like right before your eyes, you're like, oh, okay, all right, I get it. No, but check this out. Let me try to offer a little different perspective that maybe you hadn't considered on this.
Okay, please do. I like having you on because you're more of a centrist, and it's a very balanced, not that I'm hard right or anything, but it's very balanced having you on. So go ahead. Offer me something. Educate me.
I wouldn't even consider myself a centrist. You and your label. You always want to try to box me in. No,
do you know what? Because I'm not against labels. I'm one of the few people that likes my labels. I'm a woman. I'm a Christian. I'm a female. I'm a daughter. These are good labels.
A woman is not a label. That's just, you are a woman. Like that.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'll grant you that.
You can stand up on camera right now, get banned from YouTube, and drop trow, and we like, oh yeah, that's definitely a woman.
Okay. I would get banned from YouTube for saying that line from Kindergarten Cops: "Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina."
How far we've come. But let me see if I can point out the silver lining here. Maybe.
Go ahead, you anarchist.
The fact that there is so much blatant and obvious like attempt to censor people right now. Like you're seeing a surge in government going, oh shit, shut him down. Oh God, shut him down. That tells me that's a good sign because first of all, did you really expect that people were going to start becoming woke, so to speak, and that the government powers weren't going to fight back? Did you really expect that was going to happen? That it was going to be a nice, easy road uphill? That people were going to learn about like the reality of what governments do and what the political elites do, and the power that they hold and the power that they are very, very, very interested in keeping a hold of? And did you think that was going to happen without a fight? Did you think that was going to happen without some guy getting his home raided because of a comment on the internet? Like, this is a good sign because it's showing that. I mean, it's terrible. It's not. It's not.
I know what you're saying. You're saying it's good because it's showing that we have power, so to speak, and that we can influence each other and something like that, right?
People are waking up, and the power elites are getting nervous. Okay, they're getting very nervous, and they're starting to get more obvious about their blatant attacks. It's becoming more like, oh, that's okay. So the thing that everybody's been saying they are, now more average people are starting to see it, because it's like, oh, they're not even trying to cover it up anymore. Like, they're just going in and just censoring people and blocking people and shutting people down, like, without even any kind of pretext anymore. And the more of that, the more people keep waking up, the more nervous governments get. And yeah, I think there will be some kind of a war happening in some fashion or another. I'm not sure what form that's going to take, But
it's going to be an ideological war or a civil war. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what form it's going to take, like I just said. But we're seeing a escalation right now happening where the people who are in power that are, again, very hungry to keep that power. It's like, I've heard this before many times, that political power is more addictive than even heroin, that people really, really, really want it, and they really are interested in keeping it. And the more you sit there and try to take it away, what do heroin addicts do when you try to take their drug away? They start lashing out, causing all sorts of destruction. They'll break down relationships. They don't give a shit anymore. And then you start to see, oh, well, they were playing nice for a while, but now I see who they really are, now that we're trying to cut them off from their source of their drug. And we're going to see that happen, and it's going to get increasingly worse. And it's going to take so many of us to sit there and keep standing up, keep putting out new social media profiles, keep putting up more videos, keep talking to people around us, not just online.
Ridiculous.
Talk to your friends, your family, talk to them and say, look, this is what's going on. This is why this is going on. This has been going on a long time, and this is what's coming. Like you have to be encouraging people to have those conversations, develop those relationships with the people around you. Like, you want to know what the average person can do? Maybe they can't get online and have a huge video channel or anything, but God damn it, you can talk to your brother, you can talk to your neighbor, you can develop a relationship with your local community and let them know who you are, and let them know, hey, I'm not really a racist guy, but just because I'm white,
absolutely. Oh my God, you're hitting all these nails on the head. Someone just commented and said, Dia, great video. I think it's because of you as my guest.
No, it's all you, homie. It's all you.
I'm not doing anything. You're the one speaking.
You're doing the dead air while you research and do all the awesome things.
No, I did get a text from one of my many boyfriends, Kenji. I don't know if I was meant to say that out loud. So Kenji's in the chat. I don't know if you can see, and he's actually a photographer, and he gets a lot of the best moments. I don't know. Did you see in America? Did you see at all, whether it was online or on the news, the egging that happened to one of our senators?
I did not.
Okay, so there was a young kid, a 17-year-old boy, who grabbed an egg. And do you watch any of my videos? I'm so insulted. I watch your stuff.
I watch some of them when I have time. As far as sitting and watching,
sometimes I don't even watch your stuff. I just give you the views and I have it playing.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of yours in my save for watch later list. I apologize.
Yeah. It's literally.
I have over 100 videos in my watch later list waiting for me to have time to watch.
I thought I was a priority in your life. I'm just offended.
I do watch some. I do.
It's okay. I'm just being silly. So basically, here in this country, recently in Melbourne, one of the senators, his name is Senator Fraser Anning, and he's become well known because the Australian people really support him, but people don't like him because they associate him with the far right, the alt right. He's a racist. He hates. He's a Nazi, despite the fact that he supports the moving of the embassy of Israel, of the Australian embassy to Israel. So he actually is very much a supporter of the Jewish people. Somehow, though, he's a Nazi. And he used the phrase final solution, which I didn't know was something that Hitler said, because, I haven't studied every single one of Hitler's speeches. And because he said it's our final solution for this, and that, immigration has to stop. That makes him a racist. I'm a first-generation Australian, and I agree. So, am I a racist? Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So recently,
to invoke Godwin's law and says, "Oh, he said something that sounds a little bit like Hitler." Oh shit.
Yes, literally, that is how I believe it was taken. It's like, so if someone says, "And if the," I'm sure someone 45 to 70 years ago used the three letters "and if the," and if they use those three letters together from, maybe they're copying Lenin, oh my gosh. Anyway, the point is that, why am I opening my phone? The point is that Senator Fraser Anning was talking to a camera and had an egg thrown at his head, and then he turned around and he whacked the kid for doing that to him. And my friend Kenji got that video footage on camera, actual moment.
I did see that.
Oh, you did? Well, I was there. I wasn't in the room at the moment where it happened, but I vlogged that whole video. My whole vlog got over 6,000 views. It's still going. It's still going up. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Kenji sent me a message, and this is what he said. What it says: clean feed content blocking system Clean feed is the name given to various privately administered ISP-level content filtering systems operating in the United Kingdom and Canada, and as of May 2012, undergoing testing in Australia with a view to future mandatory implementation. So it's government mandated. It's basically like they're filtering things. You know, you're not allowed to see this because it's not good for you. That's literally what it seems like. It's like daddy, like, what do you call that government? But they say daddy government. It's like daddy government, only it's daddy internet. Like, I don't need you to tell me what I want to look up. If I want to look up porn, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, they say
I wouldn't look up porn, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, they say it's not good for you to see this because it's not good for you. What they really mean to say is you're not allowed to see this because it's not good for us. Like,
yeah,
we can't have you people waking up. We're not ready yet. We don't have you guys in such control that we can have you waking up just yet. Like, we gotta just stall this as long as possible.
It's so, yeah, exactly right. And it's literally, if anyone has ever seen the movie V for Vendetta, or if anyone has witnessed what's happening to Tommy Robinson in the UK right now, that is where Australia is headed, because we do not have the same laws that America has, you know, the land of the free. And that's what's scaring me. And I feel like the end times are here. Or something like that.
I wouldn't say, you know, I wouldn't spend so much time on focusing on how unfair it is. You guys are blocking me. They're blocking this and they're blocking that. That's not great. You know, just maybe recognize it for what it is and realize, oh, this is kind of like a move in the right direction. This is kind of exactly what we want, really. I mean, it is,
but then it means that we lose our platforms.
Well, right. I mean,
we've all been relegated to Gab. Like Avi Yemeni is now using Gab because he was moved off Facebook. Neil Erickson was moved off Facebook, off Twitter and Facebook, so he's now on Gab. I don't even know if you know who Neil Erickson is. I know you know who Avi is. Blair Cottrell as well. Tommy Robinson as well. Like, I don't know of any Americans. Milo Yiannopoulos. Like, all these people have been relegated to Gab, and Gab isn't. I'm not dissing it at all, but what we need a platform. So even though you're saying don't complain, and I understand you're right, like what's happening is going to wake up the populace that, as I would say before, is complacent and apathetic, that are not aware of things the way you and I are.
I guess I don't mean don't complain. I just mean, you know, maybe not so much time should be necessarily relegated to that specific angle, but focus on continuing to keep pointing out the bullshit, continuing
definitely
to keep pointing out the abuses of power, regardless of what format you have to take. You know, if you've got to get on 18 different alternate social media channels to do the same amount of work you could have done on Twitter,
then do it.
Do you think it's worth it? Do you feel strongly enough that this is important enough that it's worth the time to, even if it's just copy and paste that same message onto, you know, multiple different social media channels? You can get
definitely
it out. And like I said, everybody can talk to the people around them. You're like, I can't get banned from talking to my next door neighbor. Like, good luck. Like,
that could be the future, though. We don't know.
If that's become the case, then we've come a long way, and something's gone terribly wrong.
It's just something's gone terribly wrong already. Like, from when I was 10 to now, like, that's 20 years.
Yeah, internet.
It's savage how much it's changed.
It's all about the internet. People are waking up. People are able to connect with each other the same way you do with your next door neighbor, and it's slowly but surely it's having an effect. And I'm telling you, once this blockchain technology kind of gets more fully developed and stuff, and more people are aware of what it is and how to use it,
we'll be back.
You're going to see a whole evolution in the way we do internet, the way we connect.
Oh, baby.
There is going to be no censorship. You cannot.
And you're right. And also the money stuff, like, you know, using Patreon or Subscribestar. I've just started a Subscribestar. I haven't really done much on it, but I think it would be safer to use cryptocurrency. And then when that becomes more popular, people won't be using money anymore. They'll be using the cryptocurrency, and then that's a way that people can support other people.
Right.
But I don't ask people to support me at all. I don't. I've never done that, even though I have stuff.
I'm sorry. People are blocking bank accounts. People are blocking shut down from PayPal, Patreon, like, you know, all those different service providers. Guess what? There's a solution coming. Y'all keep that shit up. You're going to lose your country. You're going to lose.
Thank God.
That's a dumbass move.
Very dumbass move. All right, well, we've reached almost an hour. I know you have to get to work, and I want to watch Gossip Girl, so I'm gonna know my girliness. I'm not.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not always politics. I like Bitcoin. That's the word I was thinking of. Bitcoin. Thank you, person in chat. I don't know who wrote that. Oh, Kenji. Thank you. One of my many boyfriends. Anyway, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Daniel Wagner, I love you very much. Thank you very much for coming on my channel and waking up super early to do it. Yeah. I would be happy to come on your channel soon. I'll have to call in sick from work on a Thursday to do it though.
You just let me know. And we don't necessarily have to even do it on a live show. We can do it pre-recorded. Not a huge deal. You mind if?
If we did it pre-recorded, then that'd be way easier. But I'm happy to come on. I definitely owe you. You're helping me with a lot of things lately, and I really appreciate it. Yeah, no problem. We won't tell people what. Not yet, anyway.
You mind if I promote a little something?
Yes. No, I was about to say that. Okay, can you let the host speak, please? Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I'm just really excited about this article. I released it a couple weeks back. It's about.
I'll share it on my channel, on my Facebook, and other.
It's about the pro-choice, pro-life debate that was real hot. It's unframeofmind.com/choices. And I think you'll enjoy it if you're on either side.
I'll enjoy it because I like talking about abortion.
It's really had the effect so far of offending every fucking buddy. So I think
I'll let you know if I find it offensive.
I think I've done my job effectively. Everybody's offended by it, so that's
good.
That's where I like to hang out.
That's cool. Okay, guys. So if you want to check out the article he's talking about, I have actually put his website in the description box below. But you'd have to, if you want to check out the specific article he's talking about, you'd have to go to the tab that says choices, I assume. If you want to subscribe to his channel, please do so because it has fantastic content. Both Daniel Wagner and I happen to be coincidentally friends with James Fox Higgins, and Daniel Wagner is a contributor to that channel as well. So if you want to check out that and his contributions to the channel, go there. Yeah, we did a debate together, you, me, and James Fox Higgins not too long ago. So, well, quite a while ago, actually. So people might want to catch that too. And, yeah. Do you want to say anything else before I take it off live?
Nope. I just keep fighting the good fight, Recognize this shit for what it is and let's keep fighting,
Completely agree. Okay, guys, next week my guest is either going to be John Bolton, Australian lawyer of Blair Cottrell, Neil Erickson, discussing different Australian political legal issues at large. But if we don't get him, maybe Kenji will come on. I've been trying to get him on my channel for ages and he always says, "No, I'm too boring." Anyway, so we'll see who my guest will be next Wednesday, guys. But for now, thank you everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys later. Okay. Stop broadcast.